Hello again. Queen's Nose. Chapter 6. Remember, Harmony's just been awarded a free bike. Chapter 6 is called Gentlemen of the Press. The granting of all the wishes so far had been so instant, so immediate, that Harmony expected just to jump on the icebreaker and ride away home. However, this particular result of the magic of the Queen's Nose was not to be had quite so easily. To her dismay, she found that she had acquired not just a bicycle, but fame as well. This was the moment that the Hammerhead Shark had been eagerly awaiting ever since the manufacturers had chosen his shop for their advertising gimmick. For 2 whole weeks now, the icebreaker had stood in his window with that telltale red star on its saddle. Many children, with or without their parents, had looked at it. Several had wanted it, chosen it even, only to change their minds or have their minds changed and pick a different model. Now at last a child had decided upon it, and he was determined to wring the maximum publicity from the occasion. A pity, though, thought the Hammerhead, regarding Harmony narrowly out of his small hard eyes, that it had to be this child. The machine was far more suitable for a boy. He had imagined the lucky owner as a strapping lad, neatly dressed, smiling broadly for the photographers, brimming over with happiness at his good fortune. Instead, here was this scruffy girl who seemed to be taking the whole thing as a matter of course. He could see no glint of excitement in her large brown eyes. It was almost as though she had expected to receive a bicycle worth £140 for nothing, with only 50 pence in her pocket. He was certainly going to be in no hurry to hand it over until he knew a great deal more about her, and he must contact the press right away. He smiled a cold shark's smile. "Aren't you a lucky girl?" he said. "Yes," said Harmony. "Can I have the bike now?" "I ought to start riding home, or I'll be late for lunch and Mummy will start worrying." "Oh, we can't have Mummy worrying," said the Hammerhead. "I'll tell you what we'll do. What's your name, by the way?" "Harmony Parker." "I'll tell you what we'll do, Harmony." "What a pretty name." "We'll ring up Mummy and tell her what a lucky daughter she's got. And then soon you'll be able to take your lovely new bike away." "Why can't I take it now?" The Hammerhead Shark laughed, showing rows of large teeth. Behind him the goldfish giggled and the sea trout simpered. "Oh, goodness me, it's not quite as simple as that. You're going to be quite famous, you see. It's not every day that something like this happens, is it? You're going to have your picture in the papers, you know. The local papers. And, I hope, the national papers. You might even be on the telly. You'd like that, won't you? Now tell me where you live and your telephone number and we'll get everything fixed up." Harmony put her hand in her pocket and fingered the Queen's nose. She did not like the Hammerhead Shark, and she did not want to be famous. "I could soon make you hand it over without any of this fuss," she thought. But there were only 3 wishes left. She gave her address and number. Within a very short space of time the bicycle shop was overflowing with people. Mrs. Parker and Melody arrived. There were reporters and photographers, and a crowd of curious passers-by gazed through the windows. Harmony was photographed standing by the icebreaker, sitting on the icebreaker, shaking hands with the beaming Hammerhead Shark as the icebreaker was formally presented to her. "Smile, dear," cried the photographers, but one glimpse of the ridiculously happy face soon stopped that. Solemn, self-contained, dazed by her good fortune, little Harmony Parker showed no emotion, scribbled the reporters. "Oh, what does she look like in those dreadful old clothes?" pouted Mrs. Parker to Melody, but Melody was too busy trying to get into the picture. Before the final shots were taken of Harmony riding away up the street, the lucky owner of the 10,000th icebreaker was interviewed by the Gentlemen of the Press. They must have believed everything that was said to them by this wide-eyed child, for the reports in the following day's newspapers read strangely to the eyes of her family. The sea lion, travelling early as usual to his office, learned that he was not, as he had thought these many years, an ordinary undistinguished businessman, but a chartered accountant of the highest repute. "And where does your daddy work?" "In the city." "What does he do?" "Oh, some pretty clever tricks. He balances things, I always imagine." "Balances things? Oh, balances the books, you mean. Ah, I see. He's brilliant, isn't he?" "Ace." There's a picture of them taking all the photographs. Let's get it in the right place. The pouter pigeon, arriving late to breakfast as usual, found herself described as an interesting invalid suffering from a rare complaint. "And what does Mummy do?" "Nothing much." "Nothing? Why is that?" "She's not much good at anything, I suppose." "She lies down quite a lot." "Lies down? Oh, she needs rest. What is the matter with her?" "I can't say. She's always been like that." "Always, eh? Tragic, tragic." But the Siamese cat fared worst of all. Somehow the reporters must have misheard Harmony's pronunciation of her name. Somehow they must have misinterpreted the rather vacuous open-mouthed smiles with which Melody greeted their every glance across the shop, hoping as she did that someone would photograph her. Or maybe they just misunderstood what Harmony said. "So that's your sister?" "Yes." "What a strange name. Do you call her that? Or have you a special nickname for her?" "I call her Simple Sissy." "Simple, eh? Oh dear." Whatever the reason, the morning papers sent the elder Miss Parker into screaming hysterics. There she is, screaming in hysterics. "Little girl's stroke of luck, the 10,000th bike. Free. Harmony Parker, younger daughter of a brilliant London chartered accountant, yesterday became the proud owner of the 10,000th icebreaker to be manufactured." There followed details of the bike itself and the story of the mysterious red star on its saddle. How many children, I wonder, must be wishing now that they had made that choice? And of course, mentioned by name both of the hammerhead shark and of his shop. It was the last sentence, however, that set the Siamese yowling. Little Harmony Parker will have other uses for her treasured new possession than merely joyriding, for she will be able to pedal away on many an errand for her family. Her mother, alas, is a chronic invalid, condemned to rest for much of the day, and her sister, Melody, copes bravely with the problems of backwardness. See you next time.